Susan's work with Central Furniture Rescue was serendipitously placed into her lap, but her journey forged her life's mission. He helped feed the community here in Cedar Rapids after the derecho, and he traveled to 4 cities in Texas and Louisiana to feed people after Hurricane Ida. They've been here at Jones Park for the last 2 days training, and today we went in the water with them. So the first thing you want to do is stay calm. Then you want to call for help, pick and kick your way out of the ice, and then roll to disperse your weight. We know that Susan's father, Earl, owned this property and lived here with his brother when he was an old man. But the neighbors don't remember Susan, her siblings, or her mother.
Ron, we're live at 31st Street Drive Southeast in Cedar Rapids, and police have confirmed that there was a deadly shooting here. They've blocked off both ends of the street, and as you can see, the medical examiner has arrived. Ron, in exactly a week, voters will decide on city and school officials and gaming referendum Measure G, which is whether or not they want a casino in Cedar Rapids. Today, one of the developers who would operate a casino here if it passed announced they are committed to hiring local construction workers for the project. Ron, you may remember that Tiffany O'Donnell held more than 42% of the vote when provisional votes were counted after the November 2nd election, but not the required 50% plus 1 to win the election. So tonight she's facing challenger Amara Andrews in a runoff election for the mayor's seat. In Cedar Rapids, police have confirmed there's been a deadly shooting here at Cedar Valley Park. Investigators had been here all morning and they had blocked off Blakely Road from all traffic. They say a call came in about 7:25 this morning reporting a person was down. When officers arrived on the scene, they found a deceased male in this parking lot with apparent gunshot wounds. This is the second deadly shooting in 14 hours, and police have said both appear to be targeted incidents, but they aren't saying whether or not they're related. They've not yet released the name of the victim until his family has been notified, and police have not yet arrested a suspect. We'll bring you more on this story at 6 o'clock. It was supposed to be about honoring the man whom fortune named the 16th greatest world leader. But Fairley wasn't having any of that. He matched the 50 free meals that sponsors were giving away.
When I was growing up, we had a garden, and I used to have to go pick stuff out the garden and give it away. And I used to want to sell it, but my dad was like, nah, we're not gonna sell it.
Fairley says as he grew up, he saw people coming back to give back to his dad. But he didn't understand until he was older.
And I couldn't wait to get in position to be able to do the same thing, and hey, we're here.
That spirit of giving attracted others like him. Some customers came to donate more meals to others.
Come back later on and do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a really tough year, and this is just awesome that somebody so good is getting what they deserve, and he really does deserve all the recognition, all the support.
This family gave back to the community by adopting 6 children out of foster care.
Thank you so much to Willie and to the bank and for blessing our family. That's not something I take for granted.
That's really good.
Does it smell good?
Yeah.
What do you guys tell Willie?
Thank you, Willie. Thank you.
Fairley's giving turned into a community giving back to him in support. It doesn't happen often, but Cedar Rapids firefighters know how to rescue people who have fallen through the ice.
This is one of those low-frequency, high-risk events where it's very important to refresh on the basic skills. And at the same time, every year there's new techniques, new equipment, so it's good to try out those too.
These training exercises also get firefighters used to the wetsuits that protect them from hypothermia and are so different from their fire protective gear. They say it does not take long for the cold water to cause the body to start shutting down. If they were to rescue someone,
they're going to be probably in one position, not moving a lot, and not being able to move. And in fact, your muscles can get almost like an atrophy into them where you don't even have the strength to pull yourself out anyhow, which is why we will also train about trying to get into these while we're on the way there as fast as we can.
Because time is critical in a water rescue. While these situations are rare, Wagner has used these skills.
Not on a person. I have gone out on the ice for a stranded dog.
The firefighters practiced self-rescue exercises with ice picks, and then they practiced using rescue devices. We jumped into the water too and learned some self-rescue techniques. If you find yourself in this situation, you won't have one of these buoyant suits to keep you afloat. So the first thing you want to do is stay calm. Then you want to call for help, pick and kick your way out of the ice, and then roll to disperse your weight. It was all in a day's work.
Tidy work.
To keep them sharp for what they hope never happens. The Cedar Rapids Fire Department will have 3 more training exercises back here tomorrow at Jones Park, but the best advice that they have for you is to stay off the ice. Jake Schroeder manages Tegler, Wrecker and Crane in Dubuque, and when he heard about Sergeant Smith's death, he got to work on designing this wrecker as a way to honor Sergeant Smith and to help the community grieve.
I woke up to the message that said, did we lose a trooper last night?
The news of Sergeant Smith's death spurred Schroeder to act. It was an idea he had been planning for more than 2 years, to dedicate one of his wreckers to honor police officers.
We developed relationships with emergency personnel because we work so much.
At scenes of accidents where sometimes lives are lost. For Jake, there's one word that comes to mind that sums up the service of the men and women in law enforcement: courage.
I thought it fit the topic, the subject.
Schroeder hopes his wrecker brings comfort to a community grieving one of their own officers.
I hope that if family and friends see this going down the road, it just brings them a smile or a tear or a thought of memories that they may have had.
It's in the quiet moments of contemplation Schroeder feels the weight of the issues of life and death.
After the scenes are cleared, that's when you start to think about things.
He says he wants to do his part to support those who lay down their lives for the community.
We'll be there if they ever need us.
Now take a look at the emblem with Sergeant Smith's badge on it. The ribbon reads, "End of watch, April 9th, 2021. Now on Friday, this memorial type of wrecker will be parked on a corner during the funeral procession as the community says goodbye to Sergeant Smith. Those records indicate the Andrews had 3 years of unpaid federal taxes. During that time, the couple borrowed from an Illinois builder for the construction of a home in Illinois. Reggie Phillips sold the home to the Andrews on contract with 0 money down. The Andrews added features and amenities, increasing the price of the contract to more than $718,000.
They want to finish off the theater room. And then they wanted to have the basketball court with the 2 goals.
Documents show the Andrews moved in September of 2012. Court documents indicate 13 months later, their payments to Phillips stopped.
We were sitting there on that house, $750,000, chasing them, and we couldn't sell it because they had a contract that said they owned it, even though they weren't making payments on it.
Phillips ended up suing the Andrews for more than $200,000, the difference between the cost to build it and the sale price, and 4 years of real estate taxes. A settlement agreement had the Andrews owing $150,000 to be paid over 7 years.
Listen, I'll cut that down to $150,000. Okay? I'll eat $75,000. And then we'll set it up on payments.
Phillips says, as with the house payments, those settlement payments stopped as well. Last March, a judge ordered Amara Andrews' wages in Cedar Rapids to be garnished for a portion of the agreed-upon monthly payments. Last August, the court found the Andrews were nearly $70,000 behind.
The bill is not relevant to Cedar Rapids. It is old, and as you mentioned, we have been paying.
Andrews is running on issues such as paying your fair share and accuses Mayor Brad Hart of causing $2.3 million in unpaid bills. Andrews says her financial problems are private.
The financial problems that we face as individuals, I don't think are relevant for this position as mayor. I understand that they are disturbing. I don't think voters are interested in my taxes from over 10 years ago. When we had the means, we paid them off, and the issue with the builder is it's a dispute.
Attorney Corey Lorenzen offered his opinion.
From a personal standpoint, I think it would be considered a character issue, but again, that would be something for the voters to decide.
It's not just one event, one thing can happen to anyone, but when it's this pattern of several things over a period of quite a few years, it gives me pause about voting.